Welcome back to the CNT podcast. I'm Justin Yormark. I'm here with.
Dylan Traeger, thank you for having me today, Justin. It's an honor to be with you once again.
Glad to be getting you back on more episodes. Something I always you've been on a few before, but this is one of your first ones since you've joined the team. Glad we finally found the time to record.
Yeah, it's been a while. I'm happy to be back on a few podcasts right now and maybe in the
hmm
future.
Weird enough, it took until you went off to college to make it happen, which you'd
hmm
think it'd be easier in high school than college, but
Yeah, but I got some more time right now on my own schedule, so can see what I can
hmm
do and help you guys out a little bit.
yeah. I will say though, you have the wrong Chicago team stuff up on the wall.
Well, it's the winning side.
I mean, they don't seem to be winning much this year.
A little bit more than the Cubs, maybe
I
25 more
mean,
games.
we're both third in the division.
It's like a different third though. Like our third is like 5 games over, and your third's like 25 games under.
Okay, it's not 25 games under. We're not that bad.
500.
We're not that good.
It's like 21 games or like 20 games under 500.
It's like 14 games, 15.
Now it is. Now it was different earlier because like Fernando Reyes has been winning them games.
Dude, I was fast with that pickup. That was a good pickup.
I was confused at the time, but I think he's figured it out now.
But he's like 26 too. Like, I don't get why Cleveland would just DFA him.
He wasn't helping them. He was really slow. And I mean, I get
Okay,
they're a
but
playoff team.
stop. He's got big power. He's 26. Like, I was confused with the move.
Yeah.
So I believe you have card of the week.
Yep. Today's card of the week is a Bowman Chrome Alec Bohm rookie card. This card is numbered out 299 and it's an SGC 10. It's a
Ooh,
card I really like. I
pristine.
think very nice. I like the pink. It kind of goes with the Philly red on the border. And I really like Alec Bohm because I think he's going to be pretty good. He's a young star on a really nice playoff Phillies team. And I think he's got a lot of potential in him.
hmm I really like the way that Bowman Chrome cards look in the SGC cases.
hmm
I have a Jordan Groshans pink chrome and that also must be 299. It's in an 8.5 SGC case though. Just I really like the way they look in the cases.
Yeah, I think any Bowman Chrome card and any graded case looks good. I think just the Chrome part of it looks nice, and the 10
hmm
also makes it really cool.
Yeah.
And it's a cheaper pickup too, so that's why I think it's a good investment.
Yeah, I like Alec Bohm too. Had a little hiccup over there in Philadelphia earlier this year though.
Yeah, he had a little bit of the yips, and I think they sent him down last year to AAA for a bit to like contain himself. But I think he's going to figure it out. That's been happening to a lot of the guys too. Like Torkelson has had some struggles. Bobby Witt started with some struggles. A lot of these guys, and
Julio struggled for the first actual month.
yeah, they got to stick it out with them.
Yeah. Well, it was like more like 2 weeks, but like once he got going, he never really slowed down. He got his OPS up. He really struggled with OPS at the beginning of his career, but he's gotten it up. He's been hitting home runs, not as many as his stolen bases, though. I believe he steals more bases than he hits home runs.
hmm
He has a shot at a 30-30 season as a rookie.
Yeah, it'd be crazy to see.
Think he's around 20 home runs. I think he's around like 22 stolen bases. He could do it. Plus with the man
There's,
in the hunt, could happen.
and there's still a lot of time left of the season.
There's still like another 2 months. About
Almost 2 months. Yeah.
yeah, definitely still time for it.
hmm
Gonna jump right into it. Today I didn't even say what we're doing in the intro. Tommy usually does the intros. Today we're talking about the top 9 seeds in each conference, and what their weakness is heading into the final 2 months of the playoffs. I'm doing NL, Dylan's doing AL. Number 19 in the NL as of Sunday, August 21st, is the Arizona Diamondbacks. Their weakness is they have too many losses at this point. They're 10.5 games back. They're not going to make it. And the NL is just not very competitive. So we have just a throwaway Arizona team to talk about. They got a good future. Like, they're winning more games than I thought. Alec Thomas is looking really good.
So is Seth
Patel.
Beer. He's looking
Yes.
solid. He's got a good bat.
Mm-hmm. Talking about the minor leaguers, they have Jordan Lawler, who's coming in the top 15 prospects on the new list, I believe. I don't think he's quite in the top 10, but I don't think he's outside the top 15.
Hmm.
I think he's around there. Saw him play a couple of games in Everett. He's hitting low 200s right now, but he has very big pop. He had a home run one of the games I win. He motored the ball, launched it, and his bat flips are great. I can't wait to see his bat flips in the MLB. He gets excited. He's good for the game. Like, he gets super excited. His bat flips are electric. Like, I wasn't even rooting for them in the game, and I got excited for the bat flip and the home run.
Hmm.
So I think he's going to be good. But yeah, Arizona, they're coming fast. They're gonna make playoffs in at least the next 3-4 years.
All right, for number 9 for the AL, no bias here, but we do have the White Sox, and there's gonna be no bias on this, but they're 62 and 59, and they're third in line for a wild card spot, so they're pretty close. But same as last year, the injury's been pretty bad. Last night they lost their starting catcher, Yasmani Grandal. He was on second, taking a turn home, and he's already one of the slower guys in the league. Took a tumble, could be his ACL. He's on the injury list now, and they called up someone from AAA. So that's a huge loss for them. Tim Anderson's out for the rest of the regular season, and I'd say he's the best hitter on the team. And he's one of the better average hitters in the AL. I think he was hitting around 310. So, I mean, to fill that spot, they picked up Elvis Andrews, who's past his prime. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, he's not.
They were playing,
great.
yeah. They were playing the game of trying to put the minor leaguers in the spot. And it was not working. So he's not a terrible pickup. He's hitting about 240. They're also missing Garrett Crochet, who's out for the year. He is a guy I really like to watch. He throws high, very high fastballs, around 100, 102. It's exciting to see him out of the bullpen. Throws about a 250 ERA in his career, but again, he's out for the year. He tore his UCL or something, and maybe Tommy John.
Yeah.
And then another guy, just Aaron Bummer. He's on the IL, and he's only played about 10 or 15 innings this year. I do think without the injuries, they'd be clinching the AL Central. But they supposedly have the easiest schedule for the second half, and they got the first half over. I think they're going to get on a roll and make the wild card or clinch the AL Central.
I want to agree that if they weren't having so many injuries, they would be winning the AL Central. And I always say the White Sox have, in terms of talent, they're a top 5 team, but they can, like, on paper, they should be clinching the division. But I don't know. I mean, the Cleveland's been playing well. Tristan McKenzie's coming out, finally figuring it all out. Set a new high for career Ks last night. The Twins
Let's
are
not
having a better
talk
year.
about that.
Oh yeah, you just played the Guardians.
Yeah, he had 14 strikeouts against us, McKenzie.
Yeah, but didn't you guys still win?
No, that was the night before.
It wasn't last night. I saw that post yesterday, so it would have been the night before.
We were winning 2-0, blew it, lost 5-3. We won last night 2-0.
Yeah.
Cueto threw
Getting my days
8
mixed
2/3 and a shutout, and then Hendricks got the save. So that was a pretty good game to watch.
Yeah. So McKenzie's figuring it out. Stephen Kwan, he's not playing as well as he did at the start, but he's proving to be maybe like an Ian Happ type with less power. I'd say he was a pretty decent comparison. Just the Twins having a better year than expected. If they were healthy, I think they would be at least second in the division, but I don't know if I could say that they'd for sure be clinching the division.
Yeah, well, I'll dive into the Minnesota injuries in a bit as well,
Yeah.
and
So
so on with Cleveland.
what?
But
So what you're saying? The Sox's big issue with the thing holding them back is injuries.
injuries is one. Two would be just a lack of run support. I think the pitching is phenomenal, and I think we've got a top 5 rotation in the league. Going into
Yeah.
every game, there isn't one starter who I'm like nervous to watch pitch. Every guy's very solid, and the bullpen's pretty good too. It's just they've got the good pats on paper, as you say, and they're just not putting the runs up.
No,
I
Luis
think it's
Roberts
just
been pretty good though.
he's been good, but he's been on and off on the injury list.
Yeah.
He is hitting 300 and he's hitting the ball well. And Braves having one of his best seasons of his career too, which is pretty quiet. But they're not putting
Everything
the
a
runs
Brave
up.
does has been quiet. Like he's never talked about.
He's not hitting home runs. That's the thing. He's a big singles and doubles guy this
Mhm.
year, and
Like his
those aren't.
MVP season, he deserved MVP, but like no one was talking about it. It was so quiet. No one thought he'd win it, but he definitely deserved to win it.
Well, what's weird is he's 35. He's been in the league since 2014, and he's been staying at his prime or at his peak for the last few years. Like he was
Mhm.
going down, and then all of a sudden he just went right back up.
Yeah.
He's not getting credit, and the Sox are one of the last teams in home runs in the league, so
Mhm.
that's why they're kind of lacking that run support.
Yeah. I also like Andrew Vaughn, and like he's having a pretty good year, but does he play mostly DH or outfield? Because I thought he usually played first in the minors, but obviously you can't take Abreu out with the year he's having.
Well, he played first in the minors, and they think he's going to be like the everyday first baseman after Abreu, but
Hmm.
that might not be for 5 years if he's
Yeah.
like Nelson
So
Cruz.
is he playing in the outfield or as DH more often?
He's the everyday right fielder as of
Mm,
now, and the DH has been more Eloy Jimenez, as you can expect, because he can't stay healthy. They
mhm,
put Gavin Sheets at DH. They put whoever else. They've got a very deep bench.
mhm. Like on paper, this team should be making playoffs, but here they are sitting at the 9 seed looking in.
It's very tough.
The 8 seed in the NL is a team I'm very low on. I think last year was a fluke. The San Francisco Giants. And there's like they have Jock Peterson, who's an all-star. They have Carlos Rendon, who's probably a top 3 Cy Young candidate. Probably won't win. Sandy Alcantara is just on another level. Um, I'm very not high on them. I think their weakness is their infield. They have a very weak infield. Brendan Crawford's falling off. Wilmer Flores is having a sneaky good year, but not great. Um, they lost Brendan Belt recently. They just lost Buster Posey. Like everything's falling apart. Joey Bart's not coming through as well as people thought he was. It's just they're not putting up a ton of runs, and the infield is not very good. The outfield's pretty solid. They have Jock, Mike Yastrzemski, and uh one guy's name. I wanted the Cubs. I wanted to be a part of the
Anthony
Bryant
Santander.
trade. And yeah, they haven't. That's not who I was thinking of, though.
Oh, Austin Hayes.
No, he's on the Orioles.
Oh shoot. Sorry, I'm
Oh,
doing the Orioles next. That's why I'm looking at them.
oh my God! He was with the team last year. I wanted him to be a part of the Bryant trade when they announced the
With
trade.
the Giants.
Yeah, when they announced the trade before we found out Lamont Wade Jr. Lamont Wade Jr.
You
He's
wanted him on
pretty
the
good.
Cubs?
I want. I wanted to keep Bryant, but when the news dropped, we traded him there. When we didn't know what we got in return, I wanted him to be a part of the return.
Hmm.
Not necessarily wanting him on the team, just that I thought he would have been a good addition in a Bryant trade.
Okay.
They have Theo Estrad, who's all right. Evan Longoria, who's past his prime. Like I said, Wilmer Flores is having a very underrated year. Brandon Crawford's falling off. Just their infield is lacking and they're just not producing enough runs. Like it's all falling on the outfield, and the outfield can only do so much. Because a lot of the outfielders are good defenders, not that great up at in the plate. So I think last year was a fluke for them. Just not high on them.
I like Rodon. I mean, as a
I like
Sox
Rodon
fan,
too.
I really liked him. It's been hard to like him over the last few years because of how many injuries he had, but he was a third overall pick in 2014 or 15. And what was really tough was like we wanted to keep him last year, but no one knew how he would be this year after all of his injuries. It was his first time pitching a full season. And I think it was just too risky to bring him back.
And well, it looks like the risk would have paid off, but there's no way to know he'd be this good.
Exactly. And I mean, the Sox pitching right now, it is at its peak right now. I mean, they did bring in Cueto, who's been like a needle in a haystack. You know, he's been that good. But any team would have liked Rodon.
Rodon's having a very good year.
Who?
Rodon.
He had a pretty good first half. He's been cooling
Yeah.
off a bit.
I'd say he's probably second in my Cy Young rankings. Unless he's fallen off a cliff, I haven't really realized. I mean, he was unhittable in the first half.
I think he kind of got figured out too, because many teams hadn't seen him play. And
He is a fastball heavy pitcher. And so like if
yeah,
he
but
misses with the
you get what I'm
fastball.
saying though. Many teams didn't get to see him play really. So to go from like playing on and off for 4 or 5 years to playing a full season, it takes time to adjust to him.
He's got a 4.1 WAR, 11-6, and a 2.89 ERA. Probably
That's
not
as good as it
second in Cy
gets.
Young, but I'd still say top 5, top 3, top 5 in Cy Young this year.
Who's your
Probably
number one?
not 2 though.
Who
Oh,
do you have at one?
Sandy for the
Okay.
NL easily. I also called this multiple episodes, predictions episode, Sandy Cy Young, fantasy draft episode. I want Sandy. I've been high on him since last year. He had a very underrated year. Last year wasn't talked about a lot. I had him in fantasy, got him in like around 15, thinking that he might be solid, had a great year. Went out and got him in, I think, around 3 or 4 this year. Been so good for my team that has been pretty injured. I'd say my fantasy team has the same weakness as the White Sox. Lots of injuries.
Well, you also aren't good at fantasy, so you can't blame that too, you know.
I'm great at fantasy. What do you mean?
I think I'm the clear winner of your fantasy league.
Well, yeah, because you got Soto and Tatis. I don't.
Well, not
And it's a
Tatis doesn't
keeper
matter
league.
anymore. I dropped Tatis.
You dropped him?
Wait, did I or no?
I don't think
I
you
kind of
did.
I forgot it was a keeper league.
Yeah, it's a keeper league, which I've been saying. He wins. Like you're the number 1 seed now,
Oh,
and you're
whoops!
gonna keep 3 players.
I dropped Tatis. I forgot it was a keeper league. Well, he's available right now, so I guess I'm gonna add him.
See, I can't bring myself to add him because I don't think he cheated. I really just think that he.
Thank you for reminding me of that. I completely forgot it was a keeper league.
Well, you might not get him because I'm putting in an ad for him now.
No, I got him. I dropped Marcelo Zuna, who's actually starting today, which blows my mind.
You wait. Dang, we really both were rushing to get him, and we met. That's funny.
I think it's kind of crazy Marcelo Zuna is playing today. I just saw that.
But still, you also have Braden Drury, who no one expected to be good. You got Nolan Arenado, you got Xander Bogaerts. So you had a very good draft. Getting Soto in the first round. And then getting a lot of solid hitters in Bogaerts and Arenado.
I also picked up a lot of good guys. Like I picked up Cortez and Jordan Montgomery.
Yeah, you got Cortez somehow. Everything's gone right for you in fantasy, but I'm pretty sure you're losing right now.
It's gonna be close. Anyways, try not to stay too sidetracked. In eighth place for the AL, got Baltimore Orioles, one game better than the White Sox, 62-58. Their second line for wild card spot. I think this just blows my mind. There's no injuries really that are going to impact them, and they're just hot right now, which
You
no one
know who would have
expected.
been a really good player to help them make a push for the playoffs?
Trey Mancini.
Trey Mancini. I don't get why they would trade him when they're in a spot to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they really expected this to keep going on, but I think they're going to fall out of the playoff run. They really don't have enough pitching. I think Taylor Wells is their number one pitcher, who's a number 5 in any rotation. They lack the depth in their bench and their batting order. I think they did pick up Rougned Odor, but he's just way past his prime and he's not going to do anything.
Yeah, but if the
Um,
Orioles are doing this now and just wait until some of the top prospects get called up.
well, that's what I was going to. They just called up their top prospect, Gunnar Henderson. He's batting 300, 20 home runs and 400 at bats across double and triple A. So it's gonna be curious to see how he plays out alongside Rutschman because they were teammates on the minor leagues, but I think they're gonna fall out.
Yeah, and Gunner's the number 2 in all of the MLB.
Right.
So I wasn't really talking about how I was talking about like they got the number 4, Grayson Rodriguez will come up soon. Jackson Holiday, who was just drafted, so he's a couple of years out, but still. Colton Cazor, who's could come up soon. DL Hall, who I think was recently called up. All top 100 on a team that's already looking into the playoffs. The Orioles could be scary soon.
I don't see it. They're
No,
not. They're
they're
not a
already
winning
they're better than the White Sox right now, and they don't really have like a
record wise.
star.
Yes, but not. We both know they're not though. You know,
Record wise, this year they're better. Can't argue
record
that.
wise, yes. If you put them in a series, I think it's
Oh,
not
White
gonna be
Sox would
close.
easily probably take it.
Yeah, they're not a good team. I think it's kind of like a Mickey Mouse record. You know.
I hate that because like if the 2020 year was a Mickey Mouse ring, and then why didn't your team win the World Series?
It wasn't a Mickey Mouse ring.
Exactly. Like if it was so easy and wasn't a real season, why didn't your team win it?
Well, people will say the Lakers were like a Mickey Mouse team, which they actually say the NBA bubble was harder because like everyone was just training all day for like 3 months and there was nothing else to do.
And again, if the bubble was so easy, why didn't your team win?
There you
It
go.
makes no sense. I hate that argument.
Who you got for number 7?
Number 7, it's not who I got, it's who is the number 7 seed. It's the Milwaukee Brewers. I hate them. Their weakness is hitting. They can't hit. Their roster, they have such good pitching that keeps them in the hunt for the playoffs. And they're the last team to not be in the playoffs. Like they are on the edge looking in. They just don't have hitters. Yelich is not the hitter he used to be. Escobar, not amazing. McCutcheon, he's been decent, but he's not reliable. Rowdy Tellez is all right, but again, not that amazing. Like the overall roster lacks hitters. Hunter Renfro, better at defense. Willie Adams, better at defense. Luis Arias, better at defense. McCutcheon, past his prime. Yelich, not the MVP self he once was. Colton Wong, better at defense. Victor Torrentini, better at defense. Chase Peterson, better at defense. Like all of their players are better at defense or past their prime. They don't have any hitters, and if they do make the playoffs, they would lose round 1. And it's funny because the Cardinals, their problem is going to be pitching. Like they're the solar opposites of each other, and they're 1 and 2 in the division every year since the Cubs fell off. See, the Cubs, last time the Cubs were in the Central, they had a complete team and won the World Series. Could have been a dynasty.
Only took almost 200 years.
108. I've gotten a lot of crap about the 108. Never once has someone said it almost took 200 years. Hey, okay. You've made a dig at the Cubs. I've made a dig at the White Sox. Let's come together and realize Chicago runs Field of Dreams.
Just the White Sox. All right,
Cubs
coming
won.
in at number
Cubs won
7,
too. Cubs won in a much better way. Not better way, but more
better way.
commanding. Not
The
better,
Sox hit a
more
walk-off home run.
okay, not a better way. I misspoke, but a more convincing win.
I disagree. Anyways,
We
coming at number
won by more
7,
runs.
the Minnesota Twins, 62-56. They are the first team in line behind the wild card spots. They've got new pickup starting pitcher Tyler Mahle. Is that how you say it?
I think so. I'm really bad with names. I'm not the person to ask.
Yeah, he was doing really good for Cincinnati. He's fallen off Minnesota, 6-7, 4.15 ERA. He is hurt right now, but he should be back before the playoffs. One guy's been surprising is Miguel Sano. Honestly, having a terrible season. He's batting under 100, 60 at bats. He's had a lot of injuries, and besides his power, I think he's pretty much irrelevant to the team. Honestly, no use for him. His bat hasn't been there. And lastly, Royce Lewis, who can't catch a break. He's out for the season for the second time after batting 340 at bats. Without Lewis and how the Twins have been playing lately on the downfall, I think they'll barely miss the playoffs or get out in the wild card.
Mm-hmm. The Korea signing has ended up proving me wrong. I thought they were going to be pretty bad. I thought the pitching was just outrageously bad, but they proved me wrong. Like their pitching's been solid. Joe Ryan's been pretty good. They've surprised me.
Mhm.
First team in the playoffs here is San Diego. Their weakness. It's it feels weird to say it, that players are having a down year, and that's a weakness when Machado is having a career year. Recently acquired Brendan Drury is having a career year, but I would say it's down years. Josh Hader, traded for him. He's having a down year. He's lost what seems to be what he had. Soto and went out and acquired him. He's having a down year, which is
Well, I
why they
think they're
were open to a
using him
trade.
wrong. Hater, they're using him as like long relief, which I don't think he's meant to be for.
No, he is a dead set closer. Soto, a down year. They were set for a down year without having Tatis for the first half. Now don't have him for the rest of the year. Well, I mean, it's just down years are honing them on offense. The pitching's been pretty good. It's like, even though Machado's having a career year, Brendan Drury's having a career year. More of the Jake Cronenworth down year. He should not have been an all-star. That was outrageous.
Mhm.
You could argue other people deserved it more.
Coming in at number 6 for the AL, you've got Tampa Bay Rays, 64-55. They are a wild card team if the season ended today. Wander Franco, who's been injured for some time, he is the future of the franchise, but he's only hitting 260 and about 200 at bats. He is returning soon for rehab and coming back to the team soon. They got a strong bullpen arm in Matt Whistler, who's also hurt. 3-3, 2.36 ERA in 42 innings. Should have these guys back and healthy with time before the playoffs. And I think, as always, they will be a playoff team, whether it's a wild card or making it in. It's going to be pretty close with how the Yankees are controlling it. But
Oh,
they'll get in
Yankees
through the
are
wild
falling
card.
off though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the 5th seed is the Phillies. Finally gonna talk about Alec Bohm, who was card of the week. I'm also high on Alec Bohm. When I said the little mishap, I was talking about him saying I blank hate this place after making a clean throw after making 3 errors, and the fans cheering for him finally making a play. Their problem is defense. They have none. You put Kyle Schwarber and Nick Castellanos at DH. One of them has to play the field. Alec Bohm, he's gotten better in the field, but he's been struggling in the field in his career. He's still good, but like they don't. Bryce Harper, who's hot, he's decent in the field, but like They really just their defense is outrageous. JT Realmuto is one of the worst defensive catchers in baseball.
Well, actually, the report that just came in is Harper is beginning his rehab tonight.
Okay, yeah. So
So
he'll be back soon, which will help a little bit with the outfield defense. They did just acquire Braden Marsh, but he got hot now. He's on the IL. That was a good addition because it adds a little bit of defense.
mhm.
But defense is really holding them back.
Coming in number 5 for the AL, as Justin's wanted to hear all day, the Seattle Mariners, 66-55. They are a wild card team. Season end today. You know the team's hot. I really don't have a bone to pick with them today. One guy who I would have liked to see more is Tom Murphy, who's having a strong season but really hasn't seen many at bats. He was batting over 300 with 9 runs and 33 at bats. And I definitely think the Mariners lack a little bit of like power or anything in the catcher position. They've got Francisco Maya starting, he's hitting about 260. He was a top prospect back in the day for the Indians, but really didn't pan out. And then their backup is really nothing. I think going forward, they need that real catcher.
Francisco Mejia, he's with the Rays.
Oh fuck! Am I reading the wrong team?
Yeah. Our starting catcher's been Cal Raleigh.
Oh shit! I'm sorry.
I
I'm reading
mean,
on.
I
I
would
had that for
agree.
the Rays. I had that for the
Cal
Rays right below.
Cal's kind of he wasn't a top prospect. He's not anything to write home about, but he gets the job done.
No, I'm sorry. I've got the Rays right below the Mariners. I was reading
Yeah.
that. But I mean, as I was saying, still goes the same. I think they really need that real catcher if they want to contend.
They got Harry Ford. He's our new top prospect.
Well, that's a
He's really
prospect.
good.
They need the guy now if they want to win now. You know,
I still think they should have made a move for Wilson Contreras.
I agree, but I also don't think they're going to really win with like the lineup they have. I think they'll be in the playoffs every year, but I don't think they're going to go anywhere.
I think this lineup could make some damage. I wanted to weigh in. I think the big issue here is Marco Gonzalez. He is just we tried Luis Castillo, so our top of the rotation is great. Now we have Robbie Ray, Luis Castillo, Logan Gilbert, top 3. George Kirby 4. That number 5 slot is either filled by Chris Flexen or Marco Gonzalez. It should be Flexen. Marco should be moved to the bullpen. Marco is a great guy. He does not deserve all the hate that fans are sending to him and his family. That is messed up. With that being said, he is not pitching very good. And he should not be our 5th starter. You said how there's no White Sox pitcher who gives you a little nervousness when they go on the mound. Marco gives me nervous when he goes out for the mound for the Mariners. He's the only one. I'd
We
feel
had
better
that
with
with
Chris Flexen.
Yeah, that's what the Sox had. Dallas Keuchel. They kicked the boot on him.
Okay, well, Marco's not as bad as Dallas Keuchel. He doesn't deserve to.
No one's as bad as him.
Like he's like not last night. A few nights ago, he had a quality start. It's just he's it's either decent like 2 on runs or it's bad with 4 to 5 on runs. Like Flexen should be filling the 5th slot.
Who do you have next?
Next up, I have the Braves. Their only real problem is they're in a tough division. Like they're the number 1 wild card. Any other division, they'd be winning it besides the NL West. So I mean, that's the real only problem. They're in the wrong division. They're also the bottom of the rotation's a bit weak, but it's really just the division.
Next up for me, at number, is that number 4 we're at?
Yeah, number 4.
Number 4, we got Toronto Blue Jays, 65-54. They are a wild card team if the season ends today. They really have minimal injuries that will impact their season. They've got a really strong team. That defense stronger with the addition of Whit Merrifield. We're going to keep it short and sweet. I think they're a lock for the playoffs.
Manos swept them in Seattle. Gino hit a walk-off at the game I was at. It really sort of right over my head. But it felt good because at Seattle games against Toronto, it's mostly Toronto fans because with Canada, for some parts of Canada, it's easier for them to come to Seattle than it is to go over to Rogers Center, is it?
Yeah, I think so.
So it's just filled with Blue Jays fans, and it's just the walk off. You can just feel the Blue Jays' hearts sink. And
Mhm.
top 2 game I've been to, and it's not 2. Yeah. So number 3 in the NL is St. Louis, and the Braves and Phillies are, I believe, have better records than them, but divisions. Their issue is pitching. They just don't have that good of pitching. Jack Flaherty is just not. He's been hot. He's just not been as good. The bullpen's not that great. It's just like they have hitters. They have Nato. They have Paul Goldschmidt, but they just don't have the pitching. Like if you were to combine the Brewers hitting and the St. Louis pitching, you would have the worst team in the league. But if you combine St. Louis hitting and the Brewers pitching, you'd have the best team in the league. They're the solar opposites.
For AL number 3, we've got the Cleveland Guardians at 64-56. They do clinch if the season ends today. Really minimal injuries will impact their season. The team is really heating up. They just took over Minnesota for first in the Central. They're looking strong in an extremely close division race between Cleveland, Minnesota, Chicago. But really, I'm not going to say who's going to win that division because I think it's anyone's game.
He really tried to sneak in Chicago.
They're a lot closer than the Cubs.
Both in
I
third
think
place.
I think it's anyone's game. I mean, the White Sox are only, I think, 2 games back behind first, so it's not like they're anything far out.
Are they really only 2 games out?
They're only 2 games out. The Sox beat the Guardians last night, and they've got a day game today.
You were 2.5 games out. Wow, I did not realize you guys were actually close in the race.
3.5 last night. Now it's 2.5 because I think we won the game.
Mhm.
I think that's how it works, right? And then we're gonna be
Yeah.
1.5 if we win today. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's anyone's game for the AL.
No, the number 2 seed is the New York Mets, who are having a great year. I really don't want to diss them, but their weakness is bullpen. Their bullpen outside of Edwin Diaz, worst in the league. They went traded with the Cubs for Michael Givens. That was not enough. I mean, Givens was having a good year, but that's just not enough. You could also argue catcher's a position in need, but I'm not too worried because when rosters expand, they'll bring up Francisco Alvarez, who will fill up that role. So I don't really want to dive into catcher. It's really just the bullpen that needs work.
I'm gonna be honest, real quick. What blows my mind is how much hate Edwin Diaz got the last 2 seasons for how many leads he blew. And they'd always say when those trumpets go on, the game's over because he's gonna blow it. And now everyone just loves him. And
It's
I think he's
weird.
like,
He's like the most weird player. I've said this before. I don't know if I've said it on the podcast, but with the Manos, he was not that good. Then boom, one season almost breaks the record for saves. Gets traded to the Mets. Not good. Not good. Amazing. Not good. Not good. This year, amazing. Like he's on and off. You never know what you're gonna get from him in a year. But if he's bad for you, he won't get good. But if he's good for you, he won't get bad. He's consistent with that, but he's not consistent of being good or bad throughout his career.
Coming at number 2 in the AL, we got the New York Yankees, 73-48. They clinched the season today if the season ends today. I mean, the lead that they're in compared to our teams is just like so high. Their first half was so well. Their last few games really don't matter how they've been playing. They're 2-8 in the last 10. And they're on a huge downfall since
They're
trading.
4-14 this month of August.
Yeah. They've got the worst record in the league in the last month. They're on a huge downfall since trading Gallo and Montgomery. Are both really hot right now. But I mean, they've got that lead, so they've got really that insurance. So it doesn't really matter if they lose a few more games.
Well, if they keep losing, the Blue Jays keep winning. The Blue Jays might take the division. It's only like 7 games now.
Well, that's
As
true, but
opposed, it was like 14. Like they've cut it in half in the past
yeah,
month.
I do have a lot of room to breathe though. But I think the team's falling apart. Stan's
Mhm.
hurt as always. Clay Holmes, who's an all-star reliever, great pickup. He's been hurt. Matt Carpenter, who was a huge pickup's hurt. We saw Aaron Boone in the press conference smashing the table in anger. So I
Judge
guess
is
he's
slowing down a bit.
yeah, Garrett Cole hasn't been all that as he's expected to be.
It's the downfall.
Hmm.
Number one, we have the Dodgers. It's really usually if it wasn't for one injury, I wouldn't really see a huge flaw with this team. But their flaw is starting pitching. The bottom of the rotation is a little weak. Dustin May, he's good and young, but like he's still a little inexperienced. Except now it's even worse as they lose Walker Buehler for the year. That's gonna hurt big time. Buehler is, when healthy, is a top 10, 15, top 10 pitcher in the league, and they lose him for the whole year. That's their ace. And so now Tony Gonsolin is gonna have to step up and be an ace, and Kershaw's gonna have to step up and perform well as a 2 when he's kind of past his prime. He'd be better off as a 3. Andrew Heaney now has to step up from being a 4 to being a decent 3 when he was on fire at the start of the year, but we can still see Yankees Heaney in the playoffs. And now Dustin May, who's just coming back from injury, has to be thrown into that 4 slot. And now they have to call up someone to fill the number 5 slot. The rotation is getting worse and worse by the minute, and it could be the downfall. Like a team like the Mets, Dodgers will have a better record than the Mets. Dodgers Mets 7-game series. I'm taking the Mets. Braves Dodgers. I'm taking the Braves. Maybe I would say that goes to 7, and it's a toss up.
Okay.
And then Dodgers probably beat every other team. I think those teams give them a problem in the NL and the AL. I think any AL team could contend with them. Not any.
Mhm.
I think all the division leaders could. I think the Blue Jays could, and I think the Mariners, a little bit of bias here. I think they could put up a fight, take it to 6, maybe even 7 games.
I think the Sox won the series against them too in LA.
Yeah, I would say the Sox could maybe contend. I don't.
Cueto shut them out.
Everything would have to go right for the White Sox. Again, anything could happen, but it would take a lot. Like with the Mariners, though, like their pitching is just better than the Dodgers now. The Mariners have a top 3 rotation in the league. You got Luis Castillo 1, Logan Gilbert 2, Robbie Ray 3, and George Kirby 4. George Kirby's having an unreal rookie
Who do you
year.
have ahead of the Mariners if they're number 3?
Mets are number 1 for me. Number 2.
Because I definitely think the Yankees have a better rotation than the Mariners. I think the White Sox have a better rotation.
The White Sox shot.
You don't think so?
Mets. Okay, maybe top 5. I'll move it to top 5. I think the Mets and Brewers have a better rotation for sure. I think they're 1 and 2. What's the White Sox rotation?
Cease, who's probably the Cy Young. He's the 1. Then Lynn's the 2.
See, I think Logan Gilbert's better than Lynn this year.
Lynn's coming off the injury list. I mean, he's been hot lately. I think he's got about like a 3 ERA in the last 7 games. Anyways,
Cease is better than Castillo. I'm giving you that.
Cease is the best pitcher in the AL.
Yeah. Verlander maybe.
I think they're very
Verlander
close.
can contend. So you have the better ace, but I think you have the better number 2.
Then we have Kopech as the 3.
See, I think Robbie Ray's better than Kopech. Robbie
Ray hasn't had a great season.
Yeah, but he's heating up now. Like you take away the first 2 months, his ERA is less than 2.5.
I mean, Kopech has a 3 ERA on the season though, so it's like, you know,
I'm still taking Robbie Ray.
Cueto's been unreal, and he's a 5.
If Cueto's your 5, you beat out Marco Gonzalez as all 5. But George Kirby He's having an unreal rookie year.
I don't know. I don't think the Mariners are top 5. Top 10,
Well,
yeah.
the top 5. I think the Sox are very close with the Mariners. I think they're like 4 and 5, and like they're interchangeable. I would say at 4 and 5,
Alright.
and
And then to finish it up,
someone.
number 1 in the AL, we have the Houston Astros, 77 and 45. They do clinch if the season ends today. Missing a few good guys. Bullpen pitcher Blake Taylor, who's out.
I love
One and-
that guy.
That's why I'm mentioning him. 1-1, just under 4 ERA in 16 games. Hasn't had much action. He's hurt. Another good one is Josh James, who's actually 8-1 on the year, 4.6 ERA. 8-1's very helpful because they get that run support. And then Michael Brantley, who's batting just under 300 and about 250 at bats. He's on the 60-day IL, but even with all those injuries, they're still got a really good team and they're playing very tough. And I think it's a lock for them to clinch, and that's not going to be close.
Yeah, I think they have the division locked. I think the Mariners they had a rough start to the year that I don't think they're going to recover. But I have a question: where do you rank Altuve in all time in second baseman? Like top 5, top 10, top 15, top 20? Like where do you rank him without thinking
All
of cheating?
time?
Without thinking of cheating. Don't put that cheating in the mind, because a lot of people think he wasn't a part of the buzzer action. Like, so without cheating, where would you rank him?
Definitely nothing better than top 10. I think it really depends how many more rings he can win.
So you're saying top
Um,
15, top 20 right now?
I mean, I think like I'm like just like thinking about it, like all-time second baseman. I mean, like Roger Hornsby, Jackie Robinson, like Joe Morgan, Rod Carew, probably Cano's in the top 10.
Ryan Sandberg, he's in the top
Ryan
5.
Sandberg.
He's in my top 5 at like
I
5,
think
maybe
Altuve,
4.
like he's definitely slowing down a bit these last few years. I think if he doesn't win another ring, he's not top 15.
See, I think he's top 15 now at like 13 or 14. I think if he wins another ring, I would put him in the top 10.
I put him in top 15 if he wins another ring. If he doesn't, then he's out.
It's fair.
I think people forget how good Robinson Cano was.
Yeah, but like his career is tarnished with the PEDs. It's like it happened multiple times with him. Like with Cruz, on the other hand, he got caught all in his career, but like, he's still respected and loved throughout the league.
Who?
Nelson Cruz. So I mean,
Well, so is Tatis. Everyone still's gonna love him.
exactly. That like we don't know though. Like his career might be tarnished, but I think because he's so young and he wasn't doing it well, he was playing in the MLB.
He was on rehab, I think.
No, I'm pretty sure like he might have been on rehab, but like he didn't cheat at the MLB level, and I really just think he was trying to heal faster. I don't think he meant to cheat. I just think he didn't. I don't think he took enough caution in checking to make sure it was okay for him to use. I do not think he used the intent to cheat.
I mean, it just doesn't make sense. Like his dad says it's ringworm, and then like you think it's gonna be for him to heal better. I think the whole story doesn't make sense.
That's fair. I'm also just saying I have a 1 of him. It was really going. Bought it for 70. It's
Here, I'll give you 20 for it.
no. I'd be see if I ever were to sell it, I know I could at least make money off of it. I'm not gonna lose $50. I got it also all in my card collection. Like that was the most I had spent on a card at the time. It might still be. No, it's not. It was like the most expensive card I had bought and blew up, and the red version of it sold for like 550. Like a year or two after I bought it. And I have the gold version, which you could argue is more valuable than the red. But now it's just starting to plummet.
Yeah, just like the Mariners, BC.
The Mariners are gonna make the playoffs and the White Sox won't, and then you'll just seem silly.
Well, today is August 21, 12:45 p.m. You can book it right here. Sox will be in
12:45.
the playoffs.
I have 9:45. You can't see that.
Yeah, we can't even see
Different
it.
time zones.
We can't see it just like Mariners future.
Mariners have a brighter
You can
future
book it.
than
You
the
can
White
book
Sox.
it now on the podcast being published for this week. The Sox will be in the playoffs. That's my word.
What happens if they don't make the playoffs?
Then you can come fly to
I
Chicago.
want a public apology on an episode. And you have
If
to
they don't make
admit,
the playoffs,
you have to
you can
admit
come.
if
You
the
can come
okay,
fly to Chicago.
here's the deal. Here's the deal. Here's the deal. If the White Sox miss the playoffs and the Mariners make it, I get a public apology on episode saying that the White Sox are a better team than the White. Or the
No, that wasn't
Mariners,
the deal.
Mariners are a better team than the White Sox this year. But if the White Sox make the playoffs and the Mariners make the playoffs, I will admit that I was wrong and the White Sox are a playoff team even with injuries.
Here's what I'll do. Sox make the playoffs. You have to do a dance on like a CNT podcast, like start like dancing around the music.
What
If
happens
they
if they don't
don't-
make the playoffs?
I will admit the Mariners had a better season.
I'll do it. I'll get a public apology from Tommy if Sandy Alcantara wins the Cy Young.
Yeah, you're
don't know
not
if
going
you
to get
saw
it from
that.
him.
What?
You're not going to get it from him.
Who's gonna beat out Sandy for NL Cy Young?
I don't know. Maybe like Scherzer.
Maybe like Sandy has been the
Yeah.
best pitcher in baseball.
Yeah, he doesn't get popularity though.
Doesn't matter. He's just
It
so
does. The
good.
popularity is what matters.
He's so good. He beats out the popularity, and he's been so good that he's been getting popular. You're wrong on this one. I get the public apology ×2.
And what if he doesn't? You have to do another dance then.
No, I have to give him a public apology that I was wrong about Sandy Alcantara. Me and Tommy already shook on that. That was made a while, months ago on an episode. I don't remember which one. Might have been mid-season review. I was getting all hyped up about Sandy and me being correct. So, something like that. But I think we're going to end the episode here. Thank you all for watching. I don't have my subscribe to the CNT sign, so I can't do the ongoing joke. Breaks my heart.
Here, I'll hold it up. Like
We don't have
picture
it.
Just picture it's right here.
I should have taken a picture of it knowing that I wouldn't be home Sunday.
Here, just
Well, I
add
just
it in.
don't usually record
Edit
Sunday.
it in right here. Like when you're
Maybe.
done. Just put it like in my hands.
I'll try. I'll see what I can do, but thank you for all who watched the episode. We hope you enjoyed it. Thank you to Dylan for coming on.
Of course, thank you.
Thank you to Tommy for all he does, even though he's not here. And thank you to Ava for all she does. She was on the episode last week. It was a good episode. I enjoyed it. She also does player reviews on the website, so make sure to watch those, look at those. Dylan does a blog. You should read those. So thank you all for watching. Thank you all to everyone who helps with CNT. We'll see you all next week.